Today we're going to talk about surgery.
I don't want to talk about surgery.
Too bad.
Hey guys, it's Ryan and Lindsey. We're back. Before we start this, we want to apologize. We have been absent from vlogging for close to a month now. We've had a couple of very crazy weeks. First off, my son came home from Kalamazoo for the summer. And so he's up here now, back to school. Linz has had numerous doctor's appointments, testing, diagnostics, all that stuff in preparations for a surgery. She finally did have the surgery last week. We're going to talk a little more about that here in a bit. And on a more positive note, our diet's still going really well. Linz is down about 40 pounds. I'm about down to 25 pounds. Her mom and dad have also joined us, so congrats to Dave and Becky.
Where to begin?
Well, about 6 months ago, you started having issues with your nostrils.
You know, my doctor thought, it's just a sinus infection. We tried a lot of different treatments over the course of 6 months, and it finally came down to can I just go see an ear, nose, and throat specialist? And she's like, all right. So I went to this wonderful ear, nose, and throat specialist.
Shout out to Dr. Lemonnier.
Yeah, Dr. Lemonnier, you were awesome.
You rock.
Knew what was going on, very competent. Everybody in their office is great. Because there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of process involved with not just the surgery itself and making sure insurance is in line and all these things, but also for work. You have to make sure to get time off work if you have recovery, which I did. A emotional roller coaster. A lot of it was really good news. The doctor was very optimistic, and so what they found to be wrong is that I had a tumor in my face. That was a little alarming. Didn't know that it was there. It was kind of one of those tumors that actually grows inward and not outward, so it wasn't like I was Quasimodo with a big lump on my face. I couldn't even feel it, but it was growing inside of my head and blocking my nasal passage, and then it extended into my cheek and then went kind of almost all the way over here. So
it was actually wrapped around your tear duct a little bit. While they were looking at the MRI, I noticed that also her septum had been crooked.
Deviated septum.
And so they went ahead and fixed that as well while they were in there doing the tumor work.
The surgery itself, it was actually, all along we thought it was maybe going to be, she actually made a 4-hour block that she was setting aside for the surgery just to give us an idea of how long it would take. And she's like, I don't even think it's going to take that. It ended up taking 7 hours, which I felt bad for Ryan, because Ryan was a champ and he stuck it out in the waiting room with my mom for that whole time, and they didn't know what was going on. The doctors were just busy doing stuff, and they didn't, weren't able to come out and give them updates and stuff, but they had a lot to do once they got in there, and so the surgery ended up taking about 7 hours, which also means I was knocked out for that whole time, so that's a little more anesthetic than they anticipated. So they ended up keeping me overnight, to make sure my vitals stayed good and that, there weren't any complications or whatever, and there weren't. And I had a great hospital stay, other than being really out of it and stuff. And
she had an interesting roommate, though.
I had an interesting roommate, bless her heart. She was having a rough time.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that everything goes well for her. But my nurses were amazing, and the hospital staff. Every time I've stayed at the hospital, it's been great. They've always taken great care of me and have been so considerate of, how I was feeling, and it's just been, aside from medical issues, a wonderful experience.
So now she breathes like $1 million. She is still recouping, obviously, but little by little, small improvements. Yeah.
I've read that treatment, true recovery from the surgery is about a year, but you feel remarkably better within, the first month or so. And I have been dealing with a lot of pain and discomfort, a lot of numbness. I've got numbness all through here, all up in my eyelid and everything. Sometimes I'm having pain and numbness and just overall feelings. I'm like, is this normal? And it makes me panic, because you're like, what is going on with me? Do they, if I don't say something, what if something happens to me? And in a lot of ways I was naive as well. I kind of thought, all right, I'll have 3 to 5 days of really bad pain, and then after that I'll have a good week and a half where I'm off work, I can just relax and write my book, do my thing, and instead it's my first couple days in the hospital were okay. I was feeling pretty good. And then once I got home, I was kind of like, ooh, not feeling it as good. And then they put me on some medication that I felt really good for about half of a day. And then I was really optimistic, like, okay, and I've hit that point where now it's just going to get better and better. And then I was like the worst I've ever been for a couple days after that. So that's kind of what I'm coming out of now, is dealing with a lot of pain and discomfort and disillusionment. I cannot imagine, what people do in countries that don't have this type of healthcare available to them, and what people did back in the day when this kind of treatment didn't exist. Like, they dealt with the pain and the, sickness and everything. Maybe they just died. I don't know. Like,
they had some wacky stuff back then, for sure.
And that's, sometimes, there was like the sickness, and then their treatments were worse. Like, I cannot even wrap my head around that. But I'm so thankful for the time I live in and for the place I live. And the hospital we have here is great. So I thought maybe you could talk too about, because you've had surgery too, like, and you were kind of giving me some idea of like what to expect in the general surgery process.
In 2010, I had developed herniated and bulging discs in my spine, in my lower lumbar area, and so I ended up meeting with a neurosurgeon up in Petoskey, and he basically said, we're going to have to go in and trim those down and get them, back where they should be. And again, just like with you, they blocked about 2 hours, thinking it was going to be a really in and out procedure. Ended up taking close to 4. And again, nobody was able to come out. They were just busy with everything and let my family that was there know. It came out fine. Everything was fine. It just ended up being that when they went in to trim them down, they found that the nerves were kind of misplaced, and so they had to kind of tease them.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, they had to tease them back into where they needed to be. My recouping time, it was pretty average for, having that type of surgery. I had about a week until the Blue Angels were supposed to be here for Cherry Fest that year, and I was coming. So I started working every day with my wheelchair and my walker. We went and watched the Blue Angels 1 week after my surgery.
That you guys are encouraged, and I hope that you've all been doing well while we've been, off and not doing videos for a little while, but we're looking forward to doing more now that things are starting to... Now
that things are getting back to normal, we can hopefully get back on the ball and start making our weekly videos again, if not, bi-weekly, but...
I know Carson, would love to be in some videos.
I know Carson's dying to get his face on screen here. Talk about dinosaurs, so I expect that we'll be doing a dinosaur. Yep, I expect we'll be doing a dinosaur video coming up soon. He's really looking forward to doing that. And we'll have some other topics that we've been kind of holding off and waiting to discuss, so we'll be doing those coming up. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, thanks y'all for watching. Hey, we appreciate the emails you guys have been sending. That's been great. We love to read them. We try to reply back. In case you want to send us an email, it's toobaadvlog@gmail.com. TOOBAADVLOG@gmail.com. 3 O's, 3 A's, vlog@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you. And I think that's about it. So we'll talk to you guys soon. We love y'all. God bless.
Bye.
Peace.